Hi everyone, time to do another vinyl update. Let's start with a record that came from courtesy of Stefan73's Around the World thread via Big Star 1000's response, and this is Horselips, The Book of Invasions, a Celtic Symphony. Brad had mentioned this in his thread, and I was instantly interested because I really like Celtic music and I really like Irish music, being of Irish descent. And next thing I knew, I was at a store and I found a really clean, almost brand new copy. I mean, it's still in the shrink. It's I got it in the States. I'm not quite sure what it is. It almost looks like it's a record that was pressed in the UK and sold in the States as an American thing. It's got a weird little sticker on the back that says it's distributed by such and such in the United States, which usually means that the record wasn't actually manufactured in the country. And it's a good record. Parts of it are okay, but parts of it are really good. And the more I listen to it, the more I like it. So I'm really grateful that he pointed that out to me. I had another Horselips album in the inbox that's been there for like a year that I hadn't gotten around to cleaning and playing yet. So, and I picked up two more when I bought this. So I've got a lot to check out over the course of time. The next thing I got, this was another item I got in a store. They were having a sale on 97-cent records, and this is Savoy Brown's Hellbound Train with the great gatefold cover. And this is an original or an early pressing on Parrot, which I believe is a division of London. And I'm sure we've all seen the Parrot label before. Anyway, second Savoy Brown album I've got recently. The other one was Jack the Toad, and I like the music. It's kind of blues rock, not something I really ever listened to before, and I was glad to get it. Next one was a total blind buy. Sometimes you just buy things on spec and hope they're good, and sometimes they're this. This is a self-released record by a band called Albatross. This is their first release, and it's got a inserted lyric sheet and everything, and it's just on the cover's just like a sleeve, and the red vinyl record slips in, and this is Eat Lightning, Shit Thunder. I didn't know what this was. There's a couple places I buy that I have no access to cell data when I'm shopping, so when I buy things I don't know in those places, the buy is completely blind. This is like a punk rock, and then in between the 1.5 minute to 2 minute long songs are little bits of kind of weird electronic techno, almost video game 8-bit music. It's not something I'll ever listen to again. Some blind buys, like I said, they don't work out, but you know, it was worth a shot. It was good exposure. Next, from the same place, was a Total Score, and this is Doors Soft Parade, gatefold, and this is on the big red E Electra, and this is a first pressing, the whole deal. This is from the New Jersey plant that pressed it, and A Stampers. This was a total find. I got this for $5, and I couldn't be happier. The record sounds great. It's got a couple scratches in it that you can't hear, which is always fantastic. Has the original inner sleeve. I mean, the cover's got some wear and some ring wear, but I don't ever care about covers. I only care about the vinyl. So that was fantastic. I couldn't be happier. I think that's one of the best buys I've had in a long time. Finding clean doors vinyl is next to impossible. Stumbling across a first pressing for $5 is unheard of. Next is a band that a lot of people don't really like, or more so they like them, but they kind of dismiss them, and I don't think they warrant being dismissed. The band is Starcastle. This is their first album, called self-titled, called Starcastle. This is a Canadian pressing on the Orange Epic label. This is a great band. I mean, when people talk about Starcastle, they dismiss them as a Yes clone band. Oh yeah, that's that Yes clone band. But you know, the way I look at it is this album's from 1976. You might think that this is a Yes clone band, but this is not what Yes sounded like in 1976. And more importantly, if Yes sounded this good in the 1980s, all Yes fans would have been happy. This is like good 80s Yes that Yes didn't do. Even though 80s Yes is pretty good. But it's totally different, and it's a sound that kind of predates its time in a way. It's a little poppy, but it has all the right elements of prog in it, and it has some really tight playing and some really tight writing. This is a good album. Fountains of Light is probably their best. Citadel's really good, and then the fourth one, Reel to Reel, is a horror, and became like a Foreigner album. I don't know what the hell happened there. They were trying to be commercially successful, and there's only one song on there that I would even that has all the elements of what Starcastle was, but the rest of it is just horrible. So don't ever buy Reel to Reel. But the first three albums, highly recommend them. Give them a listen, and don't dismiss them. Next up is another 97-cent buy, and this was Daryl Hall and John Oates, a band of Luncheonette, and you know, not a band I'm a huge fan of, but I listened to them a lot when I was like 11 and 12, and I was 13, and in high school they were everywhere, and this is on the Atlantic label, and I didn't quite know what this was when I looked at it, but the record was just perfect condition, a couple little scuffs, and just super heavy. It felt like 150 gram vinyl, and the stamper looked pretty interesting, just an A at the end of it. So I thought I might have a first pressing, and when I took it home and did some research, yeah, it was. So this was a great buy, and it has the original kind of poster here, which is kind of cool. And it has a little sheet on the inside of it. So another great buy. The price is right, 97 cents. Next up is Evening Star, Fripp and Eno. Great stuff, you know. Fripp and Eno, what a perfect partnership. I love all of the music that I have of theirs that they've done. It's really hard to get their records in good condition. It seems that the music is so soft and delicate, and so textural, that any little scuff on a Fripp Eno record I buy just is like a ticking 7-minute nightmare. And I don't know why that is. It's got to be the nature of the music. It doesn't play over the noise. But this one is absolutely perfect, and this is on Editions EG. Treated with the dreaded last, but I think I got most of it off, and it sounds really good. So next one, well, I think somebody's at the door, Shelley. Next one is Earth Extra Capsular Extraction. This is another record that was a total blind buy in a place that I couldn't do any research, and I thought Sub Pop, you know, what the hell, let's go for it, and doesn't work for me. It's it's interesting. I listened to it all. I'll never play it again, but it was definitely interesting. I'd never heard the music from that genre before. It doesn't work for me, but it had a minimum of things I didn't like about it. But somebody else will like it, and if you're that somebody else, send me a PM. Next is Smith minus plus. Funny, I always thought this was a Canadian band, but it's not. They were huge. The record before this sold 1 million copies in the year it came out, and you never really hear about this band anymore. This is an original pressing on the RCA Victor label. Interesting music, kind of little psychedelic, little pop. Really interesting music of its time for certain. I highly recommend it. Check it out if you like psychedelic or 60s psyche poppy kind of stuff. Next is another one. I got the ones that I didn't get for $1 I got from a local dealer who was kind of having a clear out of his garage. The next is Babe Ruth, first base. You'd think this was an American band, but they're not. They're a UK band. Funny that it's all baseball themed, and they're on the Harvest label, and this is a Canadian pressing. This band, if you can find a UK pressing of Babe Ruth first base on Harvest, buy it, because apparently they're very, very, very rare. Babe Ruth, the country they were biggest in was Canada. They had, nobody bought their record in the UK. This record when it came out, that's why it gets like really crazy money, because it's super rare. But here in Canada, I think they sold like 50,000 copies of that album, and they gave large tours, and they were a headlining band. The music is all over the place. It's on Prog Archives. It's on there, so some people are kind of classifying it as a prog album. I wouldn't say that it's prog. It has some prog elements. Some of it's blues rock, some of it's straight ahead rock, some of it's a little heavy, some of it's prog. It depends on kind of which song you're listening to. And another thing that's kind of interesting is they do a cover of Zappa's King Kong, and to me that was the best song on the album. It's pretty awesome. And they were so big in Canada that they reformed a couple of years ago. I think it was in the mid-2000s, and they actually did a small tour again, and they did 3 dates, and those 3 dates were across Canada at different festivals. And finally, there was a record show in town this weekend, and I went to it, and I got maybe a half dozen things. The rest of them are in the inbox, but one of the things I did pick up was a copy of Zeppelin 3. And I already have, a couple copies of this, but the reason why I bought this is because it's Red Atlantic. And so that was another great find to find another one of these. Not quite as nice as the copy I had. I was hoping it was better and could replace the one I had, but it wasn't. But still, it's nice to find a copy of that, and it's great to find Red Atlantic. So anyway, that's the latest update. Nothing terribly exciting there, but that's what I've been listening to. So have a great day, and keep the record spinning.